So I went straight through the island of Cebu to get to Cebu City. Now, the interesting thing about the road from Toledo to Cebu is that it's basically one long slum. I mean, not the entire way, but a large part of the road. Now, this is a 1-hour drive here. It's basically a slum on either side of the highway. Now, I mean, like, what I mean is they got like these makeshift homes along the road connecting the two cities of Toledo and Cebu. So it's cool though. I mean, it gives you something to look at while you're riding to Cebu City. But anyway, I did get to Cebu City and I got a hotel room because the ferry to Ormoc is at 11 a.m., so I had to miss it. The hotel I stay at in Cebu, I mean, it's my usual hotel. It's cheap, it's big, it's clean. I think it's underrated. That's the place I usually stay at. But the next morning, I made my way to Ormoc City, okay? Like I said, I'm gonna skip the boring parts. Now, just a mention here, one thing I like about Cebu City is that it is by far, it's got the most amount of girls available for online dating. That's what I like about it. If you're into that thing, you know, just saying. But let's just get to Ormoc here, folks. Now, this is about my third time in Ormoc right now, I believe. Like, I didn't plan to stay in Ormoc. It's not part of my plan here, folks, because of, you know, like the Ormoc theory. Like, if you don't know anybody in a city, it gets kind of boring. But I arrived in Ormoc. It was about 6 p.m. or so, and I stayed at the Red Doors again, my usual stop, because, hey, you know, the reason I stopped there was, I mean, I could have gone to Ormoc, but I wanted to stop there because I wanted to grab a coffee at the Bo's coffee shop in the SM Mall in the morning. And plus it was getting dark. It's not good to drive at nighttime. But basically, I didn't want to miss the 10 a.m. opening there when all the girls crowd into the SM Mall. It's always kind of fun. I do recommend sitting there. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, right? I do recommend sitting at the Bo's at the opening of the mall at 10 a.m. I mean, it's kind of fun. But, you know, I sit there in a comfortable chair in the Bo's and, you know, I am Mr. Cool. I always play it cool here, folks. Scotty, is that a Sylvester Stallone you got there at the Bo's coffee shop? Can't you just have a coffee like a normal person? Sorry, Mom. Hey, it's Bo's in Ormoc. It's hard to keep it down. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I play it cool. Yeah, even though I do like the attenzione from the Baberinos there in Ormoc while I'm sitting there at the Bo's. But I mean, really, that's the only entertainment there in Ormoc, pretty much. It's the Bo's coffee shop. I mean, you sit down at the Bo's coffee shop in Ormoc and you look at the Baberinos out the window. But anyway, I had a good sleep there at the Red Doors, and basically that was it, you know. But yeah, Bo's, you know, outside of the, you know, we can't always talk about the babes. Hey, the coffee at Bo's does hit the spot in the morning. But on the next visit to Ormoc, I do want to visit Robinson's Mall on a weekend because it's more busy. Like, it's more busy on the weekend. And yeah, I want to check out the babe action there at the Robinson's Mall. Just to see, you know, basically it's just a theory test. You know, I want to see the difference between the babes who hang out at the SM versus Robinson's Mall there in Ormoc. Oh, and another side story here. They got, in Ormoc SM, they got a Rib Shack, which is my favorite fast food joint in the Philippines. And one of the girls working there, I mean, hey, it's pretty obvious she's got a thing for Scotty Boy. And I got a thing for her too. Of course, like the issue is that, you know, the problem is there, folks, you know, like Scotty Boy, like I don't live there in Ormoc. Hey, and I'm not the kind of guy to tell a girl a lie. For example, yeah, I do live here, just to slip it in, you know, and then bolt out of town. I'm not that kind of guy. I got morals, folks. I've got obligations. Now look here, folks. I mean, some girls are down with just going back to your hotel. Even if they know you're taking off soon, like they're down with going back to your hotel. But others, I would say most, are definitely not. And this Rib Shack girl, I could just feel, just my instinct told me that she was the type who would want me to live there. you know? Like, she would want to have a real relationship with Scotty Boy before we began shaking the bedpost, folks. Anyways, I was there for just the morning in Ormoc before taking the hell off, folks. I was going to the great city of Tacloban. Now, it's about a 3-hour trip from Ormoc to Tacloban. I just drove through Tacloban, but when I got to Tacloban, I just drove through it, actually. I mean, like, look, I'll tell you my favorite thing about Tacloban, okay? I mean, look, obviously my favorite thing about Tacloban is the babes, okay? But that's not really interesting, folks. I mean, it's not unique. I mean, the babes is my favorite thing about basically every city. It's like I rate the cities I like based on how much attention I get from the baberinos. I mean, you get attention from the babes in Tacloban. It is true. It's even to the point of harassment, folks. But what is amazing is that, like, listen closely here. I mean, what I really like about Tacloban is the view as you're entering Samar when you're crossing the bridge. That is my favorite thing about Tacloban. I don't really like Tacloban as a place to live. It's a little bit on the dilapidated side of things, folks. Like, coming soon, I'm going to make a top 10 places to live, like that I would want to live in, and why. Like, I'm going to make that video coming up in a few videos from now. But Tacloban, I don't think it would even make the list for me personally. I mean, it's busy. It's hard to navigate with all the one-way roads there. If you live there, like, you might get used to it. But as a visitor, folks, like, Google Maps doesn't even recognize a one-way road. So it's freaking annoying as hell. However, you know, a lot of girls in Tacloban. There is a lot of girls, and what guy is not into the babes, right? It's good. It's just good to be single there in Tacloban. And also, it's near Samar, which is quite majestic, folks. So let's get the F out of Tacloban and enter into the majestic beauty of Samar, folks. Now, I'm in Samaria. This is where I did the Samar video. I also made a video on island that's just in the northern part of Samar called Biri Island. And what Samar and the island of Biri have in common is just the unique nature, folks, of Samar. The unique structures, the rock formations, the greenery. It's second to none in the Philippines, folks, when it comes to natural, unique beauty. You will not find natural beauty that compares to Samar. I'll link that video below, but I toured the great untouched virgin island of Samar. I'll link that video right down in the description if you haven't seen it yet. So I'll let that video speak for itself, folks. But after Samar, I got the ferry to the area of Philippines called Bicol. After arriving off the ferry in Bicol, I made my way to Sorsogon. That's the name of the city, Sorsogon. I don't really know what to say about Sorsogon, like either good or bad. I mean, it was okay, you know, it's just okay. It's a busy city. Hey, I want to hear from you in the comment section. If you're a foreigner who's living in Sorsogon, tell me, like, what do you like about Sorsogon and not like about it? I'm just curious. Like, for me, like, would I live there with my limited experience? Like, I mean, I'd say no, but, you know, I have not really traveled it much. If I have to give a pro and con about Sorsogon, the pro would be that it seems to be, like, livable. For example, if I met a girl and fell in love with a girl who's from Sorsogon, I could live there, okay? Now, what I didn't like about Sorsogon, it seemed that there was, like, nothing that stood out in terms of, like, oh, that's cool. So that's all I have to say about Sorsogon. Now, let's get the hell out of Dodge here, folks. We got a long trip ahead of us. I arrived in Lopez for the second time. The first time I did a video here, some of you might remember. But as I arrived for the second time here in Lopez, I had been stuck driving in the rain for about an hour prior to getting to Lopez. So I was soaking wet by the time I got to the hotel. I was in a bad mood, folks, because, you know, it can only downpour for so long before the water starts seeping through, you know, every crevice of your body. Now, I had already thrown away my poncho at this point because because like it was wet from a previous pour down and I didn't want to mix in the poncho with my other stuff because it was soaking wet. So I just chucked it. A little short-sighted of me. I do understand that. But anyways, when I head back down south, which is coming up maybe in October, November, I will have my poncho with me for sure. Anyway, I stayed at my favorite place there, which is called the Agatha Hotel. Great restaurant there with really amazing food. I mean, talk about a restaurant that cares about quality food. I mean, if you ever pass by the Lopez area, I really suggest staying at the Agatha Hotel in the city of Lopez. What I like about this hotel, like it's the world's greatest water pressure in the shower. I mean, it comes out like a river. It's cheap, the best food, like the food really is good there. But the Wi-Fi only works in the restaurant, coffee shop area, so that kind of sucks. Oh, and it's owned by a great couple who really aim to please. I also always get I get caught up on my laundry when I stay at the Agatha because they got laundry service there, like quick, in a couple hours. Lopez, by the way, it's just a small town with, you know, there's not much opportunity there. Like considering it's really not even near a big city, but it's peaceful to be in Lopez. I mean, peaceful to walk around Lopez, and the people in Lopez are genuinely really friendly. I mean, they do care about you. I mean, they are shy to foreigners as the foreigners don't exist there in Lopez, but they are good-hearted people there in Lopez. Anyway, Lopez was really just a stopover as I made my way closer to Manila. The next morning, I woke up in Lopez, had breakfast, and headed for Santa Cruz. I could have gone further, but the reason I stopped here in Santa Cruz was because I did not want to enter Manila yet. I wanted to make sure I was fresh enough to get through Manila. I mean, I'm not down with driving in Manila, folks. It's a chaotic mess. Even using Google Maps is hard in Manila. Like, for example, when I say a chaotic mess, like I've been in 2 accidents. Like one time I hit somebody and the other time someone hit me. Both times we all agreed to just walk away. But look at my face after driving through Manila. Now, if you got a 400cc bike or even a car, you can take the expressway and skip all the mess. And believe me, it is a big freaking mess there in Manila. But Santa Cruz was like Lopez. It was just a stopover city. I mean, I just stopped there for no other reason than to take a shower and rest. If I had a choice to live in Santa Cruz or Lopez, I'd probably choose Lopez as I felt more of a connection to the quiet, peaceful atmosphere there in Lopez. Just for a place to sleep after driving through crazy Manila, I stayed at the Aerostop Hotel and Restaurant. But yeah, I met a girl at the hotel there. Now, I mean, she seemed to be down with Scotty Boy. You could just tell she kept looking at me. Now, she asked if I have Facebook, okay? So, you know, I gave her my Facebook. She said, you know, she'll message me after her shift. So I thought like, oh, cool. You know, maybe we'll meet up. Maybe I'll meet up with her tonight or the next day, the next morning. But anyway, but there was no message come nighttime. You know, I'm laying in bed looking at my phone. There's no message from her. The next day comes and there's no message from her. I mean, you know, it's the story of my life, folks. You know, I always get the worst luck. So anyway, I check out of the hotel. I didn't see her again. So that day, I made my way to the next town. I thought, you know, I'll come back if she messages me because it's only a 1-day drive back. But still, I'm in the next town and there was no message. So anyway, I continue on and I realized suddenly it dawned on me that my Facebook profile was locked. Like, damn, man, like so quickly I unlocked it, but I never heard from her. So I guess she tried to add me, but she couldn't find me based on my Facebook name that I gave her, since if it's locked, you can't search that name. And by the time I unlocked it, she probably assumed, you know, it's always locked, so she never bothered trying again. So she probably threw the note that I gave her with my Facebook on it. She probably threw it in the garbage can. Anyway, that is the journey of one single guy's adventure around the Philippines. But we will be continuing this journey on the next video, folks, because on the next video, we will be heading to Baler City and beyond.